Welcome back to Hydrohaven, garden enthusiasts. Today we're diving deep into a problem that frustrates many gardeners but doesn't get enough attention: hydrophobic soil. That's right, soil that actually repels water instead of absorbing it. If you've ever watered your garden only to see the water pool on top and run off without penetrating the soil, you're dealing with hydrophobicity. It's a common issue that can severely impact plant health and water conservation efforts. In this comprehensive guide, we'll explore what causes hydrophobic soil, proven methods to fix it, and some incredible plants that can help rehabilitate your soil over time. Hydrophobic soil develops when the organic matter in your soil becomes coated with waxy, water-repellent compounds. These compounds typically come from decomposing plant materials, particularly certain types of fungi, and can create a water-resistant barrier around soil particles. In areas prone to drought or after wildfires, soil hydrophobicity becomes especially problematic. The paradox is striking: the drier your soil becomes, the more likely it is to repel the very water it desperately needs. The science behind hydrophobic soil is fascinating. At a molecular level, soil particles become coated with organic compounds that have hydrophobic or water-repelling ends facing outward. These compounds realign themselves during dry periods, creating a waxy shield that prevents water from penetrating. This condition is particularly common in sandy soils with low organic content, though clay soils can also develop hydrophobicity under certain conditions. Recognizing the signs: early water beading on soil surfaces, uneven plant growth, and dry patches despite regular watering, can save you significant frustration down the road. Before implementing solutions, you need to confirm that hydrophobicity is indeed your problem. A simple test can help. Take a dry handful of your soil and drop water onto it. If the water sits on top for more than a few seconds instead of being absorbed, you're dealing with hydrophobic soil. For a more thorough assessment, dig down a few inches and perform the same test at different depths. Often the problem is worst at the surface but may extend deeper in severe cases. Different soil types show varying symptoms. Sandy soils tend to develop more severe hydrophobicity but can also be easier to remediate. Clay soils might show less obvious signs but can be more challenging to treat once affected. Pay special attention to areas around established plants, particularly evergreens and plants with resinous compounds in their foliage, as these can contribute to soil water repellency over time. Also, examine mulched areas carefully. While organic mulch is generally beneficial, certain types can exacerbate hydrophobicity if they're not breaking down properly. When facing hydrophobic soil, you need both immediate interventions and long-term strategies. Let's start with solutions that can provide quick relief. Wetting agents, often called soil surfactants, are your first line of defense. These compounds reduce water's surface tension, allowing it to penetrate hydrophobic barriers. Commercial wetting agents are widely available, but you can also make your own by mixing a few drops of mild liquid soap with water. Use about 1 teaspoon per gallon. Apply this solution to affected areas and you'll likely see immediate improvement in water penetration. Physical disruption of the soil is another effective, immediate treatment. Breaking up the soil surface gently with a garden fork creates pathways for water to enter. For smaller areas, you can also try the drill and fill method. Make small holes in the soil with a garden stake or screwdriver, then fill these channels with compost or non-hydrophobic soil to create permanent water pathways. For container plants showing signs of hydrophobicity, sometimes the most effective solution is submerging the entire pot in a bucket of water, with the plant still in it, for 30 minutes, allowing water to slowly penetrate from all directions. While immediate solutions provide relief, preventing the return of hydrophobicity requires addressing the underlying soil structure. Increasing organic matter is your most powerful long-term strategy. Compost is particularly effective as it not only improves soil structure, but introduces beneficial microorganisms that help break down the waxy compounds causing water repellency. Aim to incorporate 2 to 3 inches of quality compost into your garden beds annually, working it gently into the top 6 to 8 inches of soil. Biochar is another remarkable amendment gaining popularity among serious gardeners. This charcoal-like substance has an incredibly porous structure that creates water reservoirs within the soil while providing habitat for beneficial microbes. When charged with compost tea before application, biochar becomes even more effective at rehabilitating hydrophobic soils. Clay amendments can also help sandy soils retain moisture and resist becoming hydrophobic. Products like bentonite clay can be worked into problem areas to increase water holding capacity and provide more surface area for beneficial microbes to colonize. Mulch plays a critical role in preventing hydrophobic conditions, but it must be applied correctly. The key is choosing the right mulch materials and maintaining proper decomposition. Avoid fine wood chips from resinous trees like pine or cedar in problem areas, as these can contribute to hydrophobicity. Instead, opt for leaf mold, straw, or partially decomposed compost as your mulch layer. Mulch thickness matters tremendously. Too thick, over 3 inches, and you may create conditions where the mulch itself becomes hydrophobic. Too thin, and you lose the benefits of moisture conservation. The sweet spot is usually about 2 inches. Additionally, consider occasionally refreshing your mulch by gently turning the top layer or lightly raking it to prevent matting. This simple practice helps maintain proper decomposition and prevents the formation of water-repellent layers. In areas already showing signs of hydrophobicity, consider removing the existing mulch temporarily until you've remediated the soil beneath. Nature has provided us with plant partners that can help overcome soil hydrophobicity. Deep-rooted plants are particularly valuable as their roots create permanent channels for water infiltration. Plants in the legume family deserve special attention in your rehabilitation efforts. Species like clover, vetch, and alfalfa not only develop extensive root systems, but also form relationships with nitrogen-fixing bacteria, enriching your soil while improving its structure. Consider incorporating white clover as a living mulch between larger plants or using annual legumes like cowpeas as cover crops in seasonal gardens. Native prairie plants often have impressive root systems perfectly adapted to dealing with periods of drought. Species like echinacea, also known as coneflower, baptisia, which is false indigo, and many native grasses develop roots that can extend 10 to 15 feet deep in mature specimens. These roots not only create water channels but also pump organic matter deep into the soil profile as they grow and die back seasonally. The decomposition of these root tissues introduces organic compounds that can counteract hydrophobicity over time. For ornamental gardens, consider incorporating these native deep-rooted perennials as beautiful and functional additions. Perhaps the most fascinating allies in fighting hydrophobic soil are mycorrhizal fungi. These remarkable organisms form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, effectively extending the plant's reach through fungal hyphae that can access water and nutrients far beyond the root zone. More importantly for our purposes, mycorrhizal networks produce compounds that can counteract soil hydrophobicity while improving overall soil structure. You can introduce mycorrhizal fungi to your garden through specialized soil inoculants available at garden centers, or by incorporating small amounts of soil from established, healthy woodland areas where legal and ecologically responsible. Some plants are particularly good at fostering mycorrhizal relationships. Most members of the Asteraceae family, sunflowers, asters, echinacea, make excellent mycorrhizal hosts. By cultivating these plants and avoiding practices that harm fungal networks, like excessive tilling and synthetic fungicide use, you can harness these underground allies in your fight against hydrophobic soil. Even as you work to remedy hydrophobic soil, you'll need effective irrigation strategies. Drip irrigation is vastly superior to overhead watering for hydrophobic soils, as it delivers water slowly enough to allow penetration. Position drip emitters directly at plant bases where roots have already created natural channels for water. For larger areas, consider installing subsurface drip lines that deliver water below the hydrophobic layer. Timing your irrigation properly can also make a tremendous difference. Water early in the morning when the soil is already at its coolest and most receptive. For severely affected areas, try cycle watering. Apply water for a short period, allow it to penetrate, then repeat several times rather than applying all water at once. This patient approach often results in much better penetration with less total water used. Remember that overcoming hydrophobicity is not about applying more water but applying it more effectively. As we've explored together, fixing hydrophobic soil requires understanding, patience, and working with nature rather than against it. By combining immediate interventions like wetting agents with long-term strategies involving organic matter and plant allies, you can transform your garden's relationship with water. Remember that soil health is a journey, not a destination. The practices we've discussed today benefit not just water penetration but overall soil ecology and plant health. We'd love to hear about your experiences battling hydrophobic soil in the comments below. What techniques have worked for you? Which plant allies have you enlisted in your garden? Don't forget to subscribe to HydroHaven for more in-depth gardening guides, and share this video with fellow gardeners struggling with water-repellent soil. Together we can build gardens that work in harmony with water, not in opposition to it. Until next time, happy gardening.